Hey guys, I'm here with my Benelli new M4. I just received, I told you I was going to do just a small project to it, and I just received my new full-length titanium magazine tube. So instead of getting 5+1, which is not too much magazine capacity, and we'll be able to get 7+1 with this. So that's a lot more, it's 2 more rounds. And the procedure is, they do have ones that just are like this piece here. This piece here is shipped from overseas, and that's why you see them little rings on there, so you can't put more than so many rounds in the tube. I know it looks cool and everything, and I do like the way it looks, but it's got to go, because for this gun to do what it fully can do, it needs an extended mag tube. Now they have the ones like this that can just screw on, but then they have the full length ones that do a professional permanent job. As you can see, one end has threads and the other end has a flare with threads, and the flare obviously goes into the receiver, and you get that with it, and you get a wolf spring with it. You don't have to trim it, it's already the correct length, which is awesome. Thank God for that, because I hate doing that. You're going to need a heat gun. I just picked up this Wagner heat gun at Home Depot for like $22, and this definitely gets hot enough. And it's really not too difficult, it's just time consuming. I'm fortunate enough to have a vise, so it's going to make things a little easier on me. So before I get started, I'm going to take down my Benelli M4 all the way down to the receiver. I want to take the whole thing apart because I don't want nothing to get heated up that can get damaged. And of course, the first thing I want to do is check it, make sure it's not loaded. The chamber is empty. And the magazine tube, I can see that big red dot in there, is empty. Okay, so I already have a video taking this down. I'm not going to show you that. So I want to get this all taken down, all the way down to the receiver, and then we're going to get started on this. Alright, the gun's completely stripped down. I'm not going to take the stock off right now because I'm using it in the vise to give me some stability. So I'm probably going to have to take the stock off though to get the trigger guard back in, because of the Mesa tactical stock around the trigger guard here. I don't know, it's hard to get this on with it on. It's no big deal. So I am going to have to just loosen it to get that back on. Everything's out of the gun, the bolt, nothing get damaged, it's just an empty shell. See right here, let's go down a little. The receiver is just an empty shell, there's nothing in it. The only thing I have here is this little spacer flange here. So that's going to have to get heated, but it's steel, so it should be alright. Nothing's rubber, everything's good. Got this heat gun, this Wagner heat gun, and what I'm going to do is heat the thread lock, the Loctite. We need to get that loosened up. So we're just going to have to heat it and heat it and heat it until I think it's hot enough, and try to turn it a little. If it starts breaking loose, I know we got it. The only thing I am worried about is I hope I don't discolor anything with too much heat. So let me get this set up and we'll get started. And there's one more thing I need to do. I'm glad I just remembered it. I got to take the spring out of here with the follower. So pretty easy. You got to take this ring out of here. I don't think I've done that yet, so I'll do that on camera. Okay, here it comes. The Allen key works good. And there's the spring. And we'll put that there. And the follower is not hooked on the spring. I was hoping it would stick to the spring, pull it right out, but that just didn't happen. So I'll have to just give it a little. That's not going to happen. I'm going to tilt it down, let it come out. Yeah, you definitely want to get that out of there, because I thought it was aluminum. Fucking $1,800 gun, they put a plastic follower in there. You fucking believe that? Yep. Is that plastic or aluminum? Hold on, I might be criticizing for nothing. Oh, it is aluminum. Sorry, Benelli. Look, plastic. That part's plastic. This is aluminum. Okay, I take that back. Alright, now I'll put it back in place. Now what I'm doing is I'm heating it on full blast. You can see it's glowing in there. and I'm heating it in here. And we'll take it like 5 minutes at a time, going back and forth from the top and bottom. We know heat rises, so it's probably very effective to put it under here, and then the heat will just come up, hopefully, and start melting that Loctite. So I'm going to put Loctite back in, but I'm not using that red Loctite. I'm going to use the blue. And believe it or not, the owner that makes these tubes, said, oh, it's already turning, said there's no need to use Loctite at all. What do you think of that? Okay, it seems to be working better when I hold it underneath because the heat's traveling around upwards. And as it's traveling, I'm turning it. See it turning? And I'm going to turn it and keep the heat on it. This is not even hot. I don't need gloves. Okay, let it heat it up. Turn it a little more. Alright, just keep the heat on it as I'm turning it out. It's coming. So here it comes. You gotta keep the heat on. As soon as that Loctite gets cooled, it locks down again. Okay. That's it. That's out of there. Give this thing a break. Now the next thing I'm going to do is let it cool down a little bit. This thing's probably, the whole thing's red hot. Did it discolor anything? No. I was reassured that that would not happen. That's what I was worried about. The heat almost traveled back to the stock, so I recommend you take the stock off. Alright, the tube's out, and this is the collar that was on the tube, and that's what holds the hand guards in, so you need that. Okay. The next step I'm going to do, I'm trying to wait for this to cool down a little. It's still hot, but it's just hot now. It's not blazing hot like it was. If you do this, guys, and you use a heat gun, take your stock off. Because I didn't think the heat would travel. I know heat travels through steel, but I didn't think it would travel through this whole thing that quickly. And it was getting my plastic synthetic stock hot. So that was a close one. I had to hurry up and get it off. I should have known better and just took it off. Do yourself a favor, just take it off, okay? Now what I got to do now is get a steel brush like this and just get all that dry Loctite off these threads in here. So I'm just going to spin it, get it. Of course, I feel like I'm doing plumbing again. I'm doing this shit. And that should get all Loctite out of there. Looking there at my flashlight. We don't want no resistance while I'm trying to screw the other one in. Okay. Still a little bit in there. Let's get this in there and clean as much as I can. Now, that was locked tight, so I'm just going to use thread lock to put it back in. But I was told you don't need anything, because the way he looks at it is the gun's firing all the time and your barrel's only held on with the barrel nut, and that's not Loctited in, and that doesn't really get loose. So why would that get loose? But I understand some people like me, they're OCD, and it's just a comfort thing. So I'm just going to do it. Just put a little bit in there. Okay. Wipe all this crap. I don't know what this shit is. Crap off here. Alright. And what I'll do is, here's the titanium tube. Man, well, you feel a huge difference in weight. Jesus, this is like, I feel like I'm here holding a piece of styrofoam. It's like weightless. But that's what's great about it. At the titanium, it's weightless, and it's it can stand up to the elements. It does not corrode. So that's what's good about that. It's better than steel. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is you have a flared end here with extra steel around it. That's where it goes into the receiver. And I'm just going to get a little bit of blue thread lock on there. Now I've seen other guys doing these same videos, and they're putting a lot of Loctite on there. And that's, you know, it all depends what you want to do. You can do that, but you got to remember, if you ever have to go and take your guns apart again, you have to go through the whole heating process. I think myself, this blue thread lock's enough to, I believe I don't have a little applicator brush to put this on. This blue stuff's enough. Eat your heart out, E-Bomi sprinkler fitter. Okay. Alright, got that in. This, you have to hold this coupling here, this little flange that holds the you know, the hand guards in. You got to hold it in place as you screw it. It like locks in place. Once you get this screwed down, now I can really give it a crank. Okay. Now I know I don't have to crank my balls off because I do have some Loctite on there. I know that's going to be fine just the way it is. All right, I'm gonna get this thing back together. I guess we're going to use Freedom Tactical's recoil spring. Not recoil spring, magazine spring. Right here. It's a Wolf spring, super high quality, which Wolf, the company Wolf, is right around the corner from my house, really not that far from here. As you can see, the spring is symmetrical. It's the same on both ends. So we'll get the follower, put it on like that, push it down the tube, and make sure it's still not hot enough to mess up the follower. So you got to think all this stuff because the follower's got rubber on it. It's warm now, so it's not going to hurt it. It's not hot anymore. Okay. Okay. Now, next step, we are going to put that plug in the end. It's a pain in the balls. See that spring hanging out in the end? Now I'm going to put that plug in. This plug here, what you have to do is you got to squeeze and push at the same time. Damn. It's a tight fit, man. There we go. What you do is, I just found out myself, the part of the cap that has the space in it, get that in first. Once you get that in first, then push the other side in and it goes right in. Now I got to get it in a certain way, so I just want to tap it with a mallet. Get it just where I want it. I don't want it in too far, I just want it just flush with this. Okay, and that's done. Okay, so we took the old tube out, got the new tube in, got the magazine spring in, got the follower in, got the captured plunger in here. That's in there, so that's not going nowhere. Now what we're going to do is just reassemble the whole gun and give that thread lock a little time to cure, and we'll probably take it to the range tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I'm working tomorrow, so while I'm there, I'll take it to the range, and during a slow period of the day, we'll fire it, video it, see how nice it fits. But let me get this whole thing together, and let's see how many rounds we can get in it. Alright, I'm just finished putting this bad boy back together. Got one last step. No sense in me showing you that, because I have disassembly videos on this, and it looks pretty sweet. And you can feel, believe it or not, you can feel a little lighter difference in this. Well, the last thing I'll do is just put this end cap on here. See how that goes on. And turn it as much as I can. That's the point he was trying to make when he said, really, you don't need to use Loctite in a loading tube receiver because it's locked in here and it's screwed in there, but I understand that. But I do it just because, like, I'm crazy, you know, I like overkill. That's just how I am. Well, there it is. Here's your result. Now we have the beautiful Freedom Fighter Tactical titanium 7-round tube in there instead of the 5+1. And now, since I don't have 7 snap caps, kiss my ass, Ron. I'll tell you why I say that every time I say that someday. We're going to have to put live ammo in here and make sure this bad boy's functioning correctly. You know, I feel a difference in just handling the shotgun. I feel like I can like control it more. There's less weight. I can't believe how much lighter it feels. That's amazing. So give you a nice overall look. Sorry about the lighting in here. I have a spotlight here and it beams down on the gun, makes it look like crap. I got to get better lighting in here. But it wasn't really that difficult. Like I said, if you have the right gun and the right tools, it makes life a lot easier. All right, let's give it a shot. Let's see if we can get in here. Before it was 5 + 1. Now we are going to load it. Okay. And I like to grab 3 at a time and see what we can do here. It's 1, 2, 3. I should have it in the right spot. 4, 5. Sorry, I'm gay. Okay, and that used to be it, right? Remember? That was it. Then it would be +1. So it's 5, 6, 7. Damn, I went in there easy, 7. Just make sure. Okay. 7 in the tube, right? Okay. There's that. Chamber around. There's 7 in there. And there you go. Now I got 8 rounds of 12 gauge, whatever I want to use, 2 3/4 length shells that are in there. Put the safety on so I don't accidentally have a discharge. I just wanted to show you, it went real smooth. It's not hard to do if you have the right tools. If you use a hair dryer, you're going to be standing there till next Christmas or the Christmas after. You got to have a good heat gun. That's the key to this. And remember, remove the plastic stock. And I just want to thank Freedom Fighter Tactical. It's hard for me to say that 3 Fs for this beautiful extension tube. I really appreciate it. And see you guys soon.